Ertan, here we are in Shelter Bay Marina, Panama, and you've started your third around the world race.
Yes.
Tell us about the first two.
Well, first two, obviously it didn't happen, and I'm hoping this time it will happen.
Right, we're referring to the Golden Globe race for those
Yes,
that
that's
don't
right.
know you that well. And you took a shortcut for this one. No, not a shortcut. You were at Advanced Motion. First of all, you bought my old boat, Tracker,
Yes.
or my beautiful boat, Tracker, and then you did the Transat in 2023.
Yes.
Yeah, 2023 Transat. Um, and that was your qualifier. And then you left the boat in Antigua for a year,
Yes.
and then you joined the MGR in Antigua.
That's right.
So, tell us about your Transat. How did that go?
Well, my Transat was much slower than the Transat for rest of the guys here. I think I spent almost a week more, and because we had a lot of calms on the way down, and I arrived on the last day of the year.
Yeah, okay. And so, tell us about, first of all, I'm going to ask you the question because people will be amazed. What do you do for a job?
Well, all my life I have been a military tailor for the British Armed Forces.
Yeah, uniforms and
Uniforms, yes.
regalia and
Yes, and
yeah,
I worked in the colleges, military colleges, and that's what I did all my life. And we still do the regalia, but we don't do the tailoring anymore because I've retired myself to go sailing, and we couldn't produce them anymore because people whom I work with, they all retired as well. So it was a progression into a cruising sailing into the ocean sailing.
yeah. Okay, and back in 2017, you made a decision to do the GGR. What triggered you to take on that challenge first? What was the switch?
Well, I after I heard about the GGR, I really wanted to, always wanted to do it, and you made it possible to start it. And I had bought the boat 6 months before the race,
Yeah,
and it was a huge learning curve to get to the start. And I was lucky enough to get to the start. But like all these things, it is a huge learning curve for
yeah,
those who has been cruising all
yeah,
their life. It has nothing to do with cruising sailing and ocean sailing. And I was able to, during that period, I was able to meet all the top sailors, people like Jean-Luc, and learn a great deal. And uh, and the next time I did it, I was a lot more readier mental to continue. And but obviously the 2022 I stopped in Cape Town because seeing land reminded me that I must talk to my family, and I guess I just stopped because of that.
yeah.
But on 2026 there is no stop in Cape Town, so at least I would have to go all the way to Hobart.
Okay,
It's
well,
the first one.
I was trying to get the answer you talked about when I wanted to say it, not so much the detail of the GGR, but something made you trigger to wanting to do a circumnavigation. That's what I was looking for.
Of
Where's that
course,
come from?
it is anybody who was be even sailing on their life. What we do as for this kind of event is nothing to do. However many years you've been boating, however many you could do tens of thousands of miles in other people's boats, or cruise every year for several months. Ocean racing is something entirely different. You learn, it's a different category altogether, and you only know everything you think you know, actually you don't know.
Yeah,
And when you realize that everything you thought it would be a problem is not a problem, it is everything else becomes a problem.
that's
and
exactly right.
and largely it is a mental issue rather than anything else, but you don't know that until you try. And obviously for everyone is different. For someone who's a workaholic like me, it is very different than the guy who has not had the same kind of career as I have, or they haven't got attachments to families and so on. So for each individual, is these races are different and different agendas. For me, every time I've tried these things, it has been an education. I've never thought it's a failure because in business also. You try something, it doesn't happen, and you know what to do the next time. So it is a fantastic learning curve. It's a wonderful education, and I always enjoyed it. I've never saw myself as I failed when I stopped in Cape Town, so it is anybody who wants to do this, they should try it and see it themselves. That it is an entirely different kind of thing. These events, it's nothing to do with cruising or sailing and so on.
Yeah, it was
Solo
actually
sailing is
an
different.
interesting point because I was there as you retired in Cape Town, and it was a happy retirement because
Very happy.
the GGR itself, as we digress a bit, but that's the story, is really hard, as you say. It's a mind game, and it means different things to different people, and it is a race of attrition. But you certainly answered all your questions at that time, and you were happy, and we were happy to strangely sort of not happy that you retired, but said, well, at least you look happy. You know, the GGR did for you exactly what you wanted. So
And
that
I
was
had
great.
no problems with my boat. When I stopped
Yeah,
a day before or 2 days before, I had a stock check. I had almost 250 plus liters of water. I did a
yeah,
I mean, everything was perfect. I had no breakages. The boat was ready to continue on
yeah,
so it was me more than anything else. So
yeah,
I have zero excuses other than just myself. But I was happy at that point.
yeah. It was
And
clear.
so I have no problems I didn't have problems that I stopped
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah,
I had no regrets,
yeah.
and I
Okay.
learned again a huge amount
Yeah,
on that event. So the next time again, I will have a different way of looking at the race once again, and I
excuse me.
hope I have the health and to continue to do so. And it is in my heart to do it again. You know.
I was just about to say I'm not going to ask what next time means, but anyway.
Oh, we'll upset our too.
Yeah, we'll upset your
Well,
manager.
you are no different, really. You keep creating these events. You don't, I mean, you are no different, really, in so many different ways.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is our adventure. You know, we're all doing this. You guys are on the water, but we're anyway. Good fun. So I got to compliment you. You got the best boat in the fleet, without doubt. It's
Thank
a
you.
beautiful boat, really well prepared, well equipped. Probably very fast. You know, so glad to see you so happy.
No, I am very happy, and this short leg from Antigua here is being good because the boat has been sitting on hard for Caribbean sunshine for 13 months. So all the little niggles that on the short leg came up, and obviously I will sort them out before we leave, because we've got a long leg on the next
Yeah.
leg is a long leg. It's 6,000 miles to Fiji, or 6,500 miles to Fiji. So this short leg has been a good test
Settling
for
in.
the
It's an
boat.
interesting point. We're just doing the notice of race for the 29 MGR, and I'm thinking of making the Transat preceding the MGR compulsory, because there's 4 of you that didn't do this Transat that came in fully qualified, you know, different ways. But I think there's a good argument to say that when you do the Transat fresh from here, the bonding of all the crew and everyone starts right from the very beginning, and it keeps you rolling. I don't know. What do you think about that? I'm
Well,
interested.
there is 2 ways of looking at it. I was very glad that I could
Yeah.
spend extra 2.5 months at home, or 2 months.
Yeah.
And already this race takes at least a year.
Yeah.
So for me, I was very happy that I did the Transat when I did it, because I was able to spend another 2 months at home
Yeah.
instead of being away for a year and 4 months.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be for a little more than a year. For that reason, it is for me it worked out very well.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when you say to somebody you have to be away for 18 months or whatever, 16 months, it's quite a tall order to be away.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even if you can get away from your family for that length of time, you also have to be able to finance yourself during that time.
Yeah.
So it is not a easy thing to do
Yeah.
if you don't have the finances, because whatever you think you are going to spend, you will be spending more than that once the journey starts on each stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the stops are it can be quite costly if you haven't calculated what it will be. So I don't know. It is one or the other, really. I
Yep.
can't say which is the excellent way of doing it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's bonding and all that, but really, that's once you are at sea, you're on your own.
Yeah.
You know.
So how did you find sailing with Starlink?
Well, it is absolutely out of this world to be able to. I mean, you were one of the first people I called, and we did FaceTime
Yeah.
together.
That's right. The sun's setting. You kick back, have a
Yeah,
drink, and
and then I only had one cable, and I broke it trying to get it out of the cigarette lighter, and then
yeah.
I couldn't use it for the most of the journey. So I've got a, thanks to you, I've got a new cable now, and I have also learned that you can hardwire it into your electrical system,
Okay.
which I'm gonna get that done once we are on the other side. So I'm gonna have two different ways of powering the Starlink,
Yeah.
and to be able to get internet at sea many times faster than you get at home it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
And I was able to do Facebook Live while I was at sea, which was lovely, and so you can share a lot more with your family, which in turn you also share it for with those people who are interested in this race. And this is a race I would recommend everyone of any age. I mean,
Yeah.
look at us here. We've got early 20s to 70 pluses here doing this event. So no one has excuse not to do this event.
Yeah.
As
I
long as
agree.
they have the time, health, and the money, they should give it a go.
Yeah.
And because not doing it, you will always regret it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So you're not you're not a short fella, right? How do you
Yes.
find living on the boat?
Well, you get used because you have to always sleep on the higher side. Uh, in a normal boat, you sleep on the lower side, which is very comfortable, like a cot. In our boats, you sleep on the higher side, and most of the time you curl up like a dog. But you get used to it, and it is not an issue. And if the boat is going downwind, and then you sleep in the middle, again, quite comfortable. Once you know what you've got to deal with, it's not an issue. You just get on with it and do it. There's not a choice. You can't check into a hotel when you
Yeah.
feel like it. So it's not an issue. I don't think anybody really complained about sleeping with their boats,
Yeah.
however small or large they were.
Yeah. Nope. That's true. And what about food and cooking and stuff?
Well, our boats are not very safe to cook unless the weather is suitable. And you can't really boil things. You certain can hurt yourself. So, what you cook, you have to be very careful. So the safest food on in our boats are the freeze-dried food or tin foods or ready-made food, and they work very well. So my most of my food has been that tin
Yeah.
food. Everything is tinned or freeze-dried. Because we are sailing on a warm latitudes, the food intake is much less than it would be if you were at home. So you are eating much less because you're also eating as much as you need rather than because the food isn't really. I mean, I wouldn't feed that to my dog on land. I actually will feed our dogs better than what I eat on the boat. But you accept that, you get on with it, and you eat it, and it doesn't taste so brilliant because the weather's so warm. Now, if the weather was so cold, you eat this food. It's not so bad; it warms you up. But you basically eat the freeze-dried food to sustain yourself, and it's not a problem. It's not an issue at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now the next leg, when we get across the other side, it's like, quite a long one, maybe
Yeah.
35, 40,
Yeah.
45 days or even longer, 50 days. What are you thinking about that? Any special preparations, how much water, things like that?
Well, I will take at least 140 plus liters,
Yeah.
plus all the other liquids. So I would like to arrive at my destination 20 liters at least in reserve,
Yeah.
maybe more. I mean, I arrived here with 25 liters, even on a short journey.
Yeah.
So I'll err on the safer side of the water storage.
Yeah.
So I'm not really, and I will also, of course, so we'll have a lot of UHT milk and
Yeah.
juices and so on. So I
Yeah.
will certainly have a lot more than. And if we do get occasional rain, I will fill my tanks with it as well, but I won't be banking on that.
Yeah.
So I will have more than enough
Yeah,
for the
that's
journey.
cool. You were one of the first to roll over to a hydrovane.
Yes, I'm afraid I am the guilty person for that. And I think I am so very happy that I have converted so many people, because nobody will have an excuse to stop the race because of the wind vane.
Yeah,
Now, I had no problems with my South Atlantic. I arrived at Antigua as good as the day I left Les Abdelon.
yeah,
And my reason of replacing the South Atlantic is for two reasons. One of them is Hydrovane is a idiot-proof, child-easy system to control. But more importantly, if we do get into a seaway where the storm will last several days, I felt that hydrovane would be far safer to leave the boat to control it than a South Atlantic. And I'm so glad so many has bought it, and there is more being purchased at the moment, because it is the safety issue more than anything else. Because the boats you cannot use the electric pilot other than a calm days, and you cannot use them for days in end. We don't produce enough electricity. With hydrovane, it's one of the safest equipment you can have. The most important equipment is the wind vane in our boats. Now, not everybody has a hydrovane. Some people have different brands other than the South Atlantic. They're also very happy with it because they have very robust units. And they are the units, I think, if we are into 2-3 day storms, you can get into your boat, let the boat handle, and the hydrovane or those other units will be able to do that dependently, because these items, that hydrovanes that we have, they install them into 30-ton boats. We are 1 ton.
yeah,
So it is well too overspecified. Unfortunately, it is an expensive piece of kit for most people, but nobody has made a complaint about it, and everybody is happy about it.
yeah,
And in the past, these units were never used for small boats. It's the first time Hydrovane selling these units to 19 feet boat owners.
yeah,
It didn't happen before. But also nobody has done round the world race in a 19-foot boat. So this is the first time something like this is happening. And I think a robust wind vane is a very important part of this journey. That's my humble opinion.
yeah. Short answer for a long question.
I'm sorry.
That's cool. Okay, so to be specific, what on earth made you to decide to do the mini globe race?
Well, after the Golden Globe race, I had to have another challenge immediately, and my inside was burning. And myself and Arzu, we were in Alicante, and I said to Arzu, I would like to do this. She said it was a great idea. And poor Arzu says it's a great idea, whether it's a great idea or not. She's the most wonderful person. And then immediately I telephoned you, and because I heard it that you were interested of selling or leasing your trekker to somebody else. And the moment I heard it, I think I was the first one on the telephone.
Yeah,
And that was the end of that. And so I was so very happy when you decided to sort of let me be the next custodian of trekker.
yeah, special boat, but it still doesn't really answer the question. Try and define what's the attraction for the race.
Okay, for those who are sailors, you have to participate in one of these events to know what it entails. It is nothing what they think it is. And once you start an event like this, it's a wonderful thing. And I wish more people would experience these kind of events. It will be a life-changing, it's very fulfilling, and it is an event with, it's an adventure because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
And if you go out to see something completely suitable, it's not an adventure. And our boats are not, on paper, is not suitable on paper for most people. But actually, it's amazing what you can do with little boats.
oh yeah,
And I have done, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 miles in trekker, and I did Biscay crossing. I had a gale there. I had a 20-hour storm in the Atlantic. It was terrifying, and that was one of the reasons after that 20-hour storm that I decided that a robust wind vane was a necessity, not a luxury. And then to come out on the other side, it is a wonderful feeling. It really is a wonderful feeling to be able to cross the oceans in such a tiny vessel.
Yeah.
And I feel as safe in that boat as any of my other boats.
Yeah. Okay, so what are you looking forward to most? Well, I mean, we haven't even got to the Pacific yet, but
Okay, I mean, I have never sailed in the Pacific, and the beautiful thing is that I don't know what I am gonna be experiencing it, and that is the attraction. And I would like to experience the things that I am not expecting.
yeah,
And almost certainly, I will experience things that I haven't experienced before, and that is very much the attraction going forward.
yeah. Okay, have you got any apprehension or concerns about anything?
Not really, no. I mean, only apprehension when I am at sea is that something happens, not to me, but people that I love and I care and that I am not there. That's normally the only thing that I ever worry about. At sea, I am perfectly happy. I know that as long as I am careful and look after me and look after my boat, I will come out on the other side.
Yeah. Okay, and as Arzu says, that you've got no excuses now because you've got Starlink and you've got all the comms, not like the GGR.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, but
Yeah, so what don't you like about sailing a 580,
well,
over the ocean, for many, many days?
I mean, because it is 19 feet, you can't expect a bathroom inside the boat.
Yeah.
So you can't be disappointed about that. You can't stand up, the size of the boat. So there is not disappointment because when you buy this boat, or for most people who have made this boat, they know exactly what they are getting into. So there is no disappointment at all.
Yeah.
So you choose, like when you go into these events, ours always says to me, don't complain, you signed for it, shut up and get on with it. Because, we all moan about this and that, about, your rules.
Yeah.
And ours always says, you signed for it, don't complain and get on with it. And
We should make an assistant race director.
Aju, we love you, Aju.
So, and that's very true. We have no reason to complain about anything at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you think about actually there's some interesting question here for you that, well, first of all, what do you think about the atmosphere between all the entrants and what we're all doing now together, things like that? It's pretty electric, eh?
Yes, it is very nice. One of the beautiful things about these events that you do meet different people, and everyone here is very different with different agendas altogether.
Yeah.
And you couldn't put anybody into one category.
Yeah.
And that's quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
And really strangely, I feel that this lot of people, I think everybody will continue and finish this event.
It's crazy, eh?
Yeah, and I don't think I could say this about the GGR.
No, this is something I'm coming to, and you're already just coming to the same conclusion.
Yeah, and it's really very strange. I feel everybody has the potential to complete this trip.
Yeah.
And it is that kind of an event. It is a very doable event because of these stops.
Yeah. Changes the dynamic a lot.
Yeah.
It does two things, because it makes you socialise more, you get to know them more and longer, still facing the same challenges, or similar challenges, but it allows you to service and prep the boat again to go, and everyone helps everyone else.
And also you get to see your family. I mean, I had family came to see me in Antigua. We had a couple of good weeks.
Yeah.
And most people have had people came to see them.
Yeah.
So, and most of those people hadn't been to Antigua. So everybody is experiencing and getting something out of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, that is there's something to look forward to. I mean, I'm looking forward to Fiji, and I'm hoping there'll be lots of people come and visit me.
Yeah.
And share a wonderful new place that I would otherwise not have gone.
Well, as Rear Commodore of the Globe Yacht Club,
yes,
and the current host for the Globe Yacht Club itself,
yes.
So in other words, Trekker is the Globe Yacht Club, anyone who is a Globe Yacht Club member or anyone wants to join, they have an open invitation to visit the club, which is your boat.
Absolutely. And everybody's welcome. I mean it, everybody's welcome.
Yeah, we didn't get into that, but anyway.
And Treka had a nice makeover yesterday. Has got new vinyls on it, so she's not looking as good as when I got her, but she's looking close to that externally, because the sun does make the paint go off color, and she looks much prettier than she did a few weeks ago. So.
Too true. So how are you, sort of psyching up to the next leg? Like, okay, so it's from Panama to Marquesas. That's one leg, and then we go Marquesas to to Papeete and then Tonga and so on. How do you prep yourself on that sort of aspect? Is it anything special, or you just get going?
At the moment, we only have one business to do.
Yeah.
Our business right now is to get our boats from this side to other side, and this is the only thing I have in my mind right now.
Yeah.
I would like to get my boat to other side. I would like to make sure the mast is up, everything is safe, all the lines are good, so she's good to go. And then I would want all the other entrants to come over and be in the same position.
Yeah.
And this is the only thing I have in my mind. Once you go out to sea, life becomes extremely simple.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go that way.
Yeah.
And so there is nothing to be apprehended about it, because everybody will be relieved to leave this place, and everybody is ready to leave this place. I mean, everyone has things to do, but they're often anti-foul.
You always have things to do.
Yeah. But there's nothing. I mean, that people want to anti-foul their boats, and silly little jobs they want to do, and somebody wants to put a hydro vane on their boat because they don't like the current one they have. These are all positive things.
Yeah.
And I think no one is thinking about Tahiti. Everybody's really concentrating, getting their boat the other side, preparing it, and then when you say, okay, we are going at this day, then I think everybody will start looking at the weather and where we're going and so on and so forth, and that discussion will become serious to plan once we are ready to go.
Yeah.
But at the moment, we have far more important things to do, is to get to the other side.
Absolutely, yep.
And I think I have also had quite a few people now tell me that I wish we'd gone through the canal.
Oh, it's not possible.
No, it would have been possible as a whole unit. Because I had inquired about it, and for 50,000, well, if all of us would have paid around about $50,000, and they would have taken us somehow.
Yeah.
Because one of the agents were interested in taking us all.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was a very difficult sell, because people.
Don't worry, talk's cheap. They still would have to be waiting here.
Yes.
And do the stuff, so it's going to cost. Yeah.
But next time, on the next GGR, it is something somebody can look at.
MGR.
Next MGR.
Yeah.
In 4 years' time, is something they could look into it.
No. It's simple now. We've got the trailers, they're done, they unbolt the rack, and they wait 4 years later, bolt it on, and they're ready as soon as we arrive.
But imagine, though, to be able to cross in one day on the other side intact, and everybody has 2 weeks of free time.
There's 3,000 compared to 750. Everyone will want to go on the trailer.
Well, I think it is not. I don't think so, because we are staying in hotels, and every time.
Yeah. But no. Hang on a sec. When the boats get here, they'd still want to stay in the hotel because they've got to do stuff on their boats. You see, you still got to do that stuff, and then from there, everyone's got to. You can't go until everyone's ready to go. So you got to wait for the last guy. And so there's always these practical sides that I look at. So it's always going to be a trailer.
But I think it would be easier to get your boat worked on the other side than here.
No.
I do.
It's very expensive over there.
I know, but it would be better if you were all there doing this work.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, but you see, anyway, there's lots of challenges with every direction, but this is probably the best thing to do. Okay. So we'll see.
I will tell you something about it in a minute. I'm coming with that.
Okay. All right. So what's the final thing? Anything you want to say to people that are following you or doing or whatever it is?
I think, I hope that people watch this race, and it is a very special race, and I hope more people prepare for the next Mini Globe race. It really is a very, very special.
It's pretty cool, yeah,
it
for
really
sure.
is a cool race, and people can spend very little amount of money to come here
Yeah.
if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Comparatively speaking.
Too true. Okay, Ertan, thank you very much. Good luck with the next stage, one step at a time, and just stay focused. Don't think of 26 too much, you know.
No, I'm not. I'm only thinking about the crossing to the other side, the Pacific side. That's all I have in my mind
Oh,
at the
okay.
moment.
Stand down, Azu. He'll be fine.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, Ertan. See you shortly. Bye-bye.